You guys get started. I'll
Yeah,
be
let's
here.
go ahead.
If you need anything, just holler, okay?
Sure.
Okay.
So hi everyone. I don't think I have met either of you before. My name is Sonya Keshwani. I'm a young breast cancer survivor, and I'm also the founder of Stylist Steam Wardrobe. My journey basically started when I was 29 years old, and I was diagnosed with an early stage breast cancer, kind of out of the blue. Didn't have any family history, was certainly not in any other way, on the radar of breast cancer, and so kind of came as a surprise. And you know, being from a a family where it's not a prevalent health issue. I really felt like a lot of what I was doing was learning as I went along. I didn't have that many resources to lean on, and so each experience was very much a learning experience for me. And one of the biggest learning experiences in that journey was the hair journey. And so basically, when I started treatment, I was told, your hair is going to fall out. Please go get a wig and just be ready for it to happen. By the time you come back for your next round of chemo, you will have lost a lot of hair. And then there was not much other conversation outside of that. My medical team was amazing, but the way they talked to me about hair made me feel like, it's kind of a side effect, and I should just treat it that way and move on because there's more important things happening. But when it actually started to happen, there was such a strong mental component that I wasn't expecting, as well as a physical component. And part of that is the side effects you experience from the hair physically falling out, and then also just how do you mentally deal with all the changes you see in the mirror, and then also just how do you dress yourself, like how do you dress yourself and feel like you look like yourself and also feel comfortable in your own skin. And so during this time, I did in fact buy a wig. This is my natural hair color, but I bought a blonde wig. Um, Unknowingly, I bought a blonde wig that had like these dark roots in it. So it kind of looked like I had gotten my hair done, and everyone was like, oh, like you look so cool, like with your new hair, where'd you get it done? Who did it for you? And for a while, it kind of was a fun little experiment with, the new hair color, because I always wanted to see what it was like to be a blonde. But, eventually it began to feel very much like I was posing like myself. I didn't feel like I was showing up, as who I truly am. I was feeling also just like physically uncomfortable because of the whole physical scenario of wearing a wig that I wasn't used to. So going through chemo in the summer and having to wear a wig was just a lot to deal with that I wasn't prepared for. And so to kind of find a solution to this, I decided to look online for some sort of a head covering. But all I could find on the internet and in stores was these things that are marketed to us as patients as chemo beanies. And I kind of thought to myself, well, if I wouldn't wear this while I'm healthy, why does the fashion industry expect me to wear this while I'm sick? Like, are they trying to kick me while I'm down? Like, this does not appeal to me, and it doesn't make me feel like myself, right? So the search for this fashionable head accessory was out there, but it wasn't leading to anything. So I decided to try to create my own solution. So after treatment, I would actually walk down the street to a fabric shop in Astoria, Queens, and I would go shopping. And that was kind of my little ritual where I would go for treatment, and then I would pick up a few yards of fabric and I'd bring it home. And it just, something that I got lost in while I was recovering the week after treatment is that sewing process. And the styles that I came up with really changed the quality of life for me. It changed how I got dressed in the morning and my ability to coordinate my outfits and be stylish, and also just to feel comfortable, just to feel like, okay, I can commute to work and not have to carry my wig in my bag like I had literally done before. And so, this was something that I realized that, you know, if I needed it this much, I'm sure other women need it too. And so that led to me quitting my job of my career of 10 years, moving back home to New York City and launching my company. And so today we are the only label to create headwear by season and occasion. And we also just launched our couture collection as well. So there's so many strides that we want to make in this sort of garment that is so essential to so many women for so many personal reasons. So that's a little bit about me. And since this is a small group, I think my marketing team just joined. That's why you see my name twice. So because we're a small group today, I definitely want to talk to you about sort of my takeaways and the tips and tricks that I learned from my hair journey that can hopefully help you. But it would be helpful to know where you are in your treatment process, just so I'm giving you, the information that you need, like right now, where you are. So Jackie, do you want to share a little bit about where you are in the process?
Okay, I was diagnosed with breast cancer back in 2018, and January of 2018, and I started chemo, and in March, and it was a choice between that and some other medication. They said there was one chemo that would be bad for my heart, but it may not take my hair out. And then there was another one that was better for my heart, but it definitely would take my hair out. And I was like, okay, well, can I go with the one that won't take my hair out? Maybe. And it was just
Yeah.
so crazy because I'd
Yeah.
rather damage my heart than lose my hair. But
Yeah.
even that was a maybe because most likely, regardless of what I did, I was going to lose my hair. So, in fact, I did. At that time, I had a weave, and the whole thing just came out because all my hair just came out, and I could just pick it off, and I was like, oh my God. And
Yeah.
so then I went, I like you were saying, I was looking for something that would look nice, but all I could find was, and like I said, I would see people and they look like cancer patients. And I said, I don't want to look like a cancer patient. But
Yeah.
the little things that you would put on your head, obviously you don't have any hair. And so
Yeah.
they could tell. And I
Yeah.
could tell too, but I didn't want to go around bald. So I, in fact, did get wigs. Like this is currently a wig now,
It
and I
looks
wear
really
wigs.
cute, by the way, from over
Oh,
here.
thank
It's really
you.
cute. Yeah.
I generally wear wigs all the time now. I don't have a problem with that because my
Yeah.
hair basically right now is probably maybe a half an inch. It hasn't really grown. I'll cut it
Yeah.
down because it's so scraggly looking, but I'm comfortable wearing wigs, but I also like the head coverings. But like you were saying, you can't really find something that doesn't make you look like a cancer patient. And like you were saying, it was like, goodness, isn't it bad enough that we lost our hair and we look like this, and now we still have to put on something that says, "Hey, I'm a cancer patient, by the way." So I think that's a great idea that you had come up with.
Thank you. Thank you. And
Hmm.
thanks for sharing.
Hmm.
Um, Nanetta, can you share a little bit about where you are in the process?
Hold on, let me just turn this up. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Um, I usually don't really share a lot about what happened to me a couple of years ago,
Sure.
but well, actually in 2020. So, of course, I had chemo and I lost all of my hair. And even though I tried to not lose, I used a cold cap for a few weeks
Okay.
until my hair broke. And then
Yeah.
I made the decision to stop that part of the
Mm.
treatment, to stop using the cold cap,
Yeah.
and just had one of my sisters cut off the rest of my hair. And so, yes, it did grow back, but at the crown, I have very little hair.
Mm.
And for most of my life, I had very thick hair, and now it's very thin. And I would usually color my hair. But with COVID, I decided not to go to the hair salon anymore. And so I just wear it natural, and I really don't like how I look. I don't really know what to do with it, to be quite honest.
Yeah.
And when I noticed that when I go places, I wear a cap, and I just wear a cap and put my hair in a ponytail. But
Yeah.
for the summer, I like to be able to wear, am I frozen? Because you're frozen. I'd like to be able to wear dresses as I have in the past and have my hair out. I just don't know. Scarves are okay, but
Yeah. We can
I,
hear you. I'm not sure if we're still frozen for you,
you're
but
not
go ahead.
frozen any longer, right?
Okay. Okay. All right. I hear you. That's something we can definitely talk about. Is what to do kind of when you're almost kind of in that state where your hair is in limbo, because that can kind of last for a bit. And we don't really know, our hair sometimes has a mind of its own, especially when it's growing back. I know mine certainly did and still does. So we can talk a little bit about that too. But thank you for sharing. Thank you for, sharing with us. Um, so hi, Cheryl. We're just talking about, so far we're talking about just where we each are in our hair journey before I get started on kind of my best practices, just because it's let me see. I don't know if Cheryl can hear me because she's connecting to audio. Okay, we'll wait for her. So Nancy, can you tell if
Yeah, can you hear us, Cheryl? I think she's having a little problem. We'll see. Why don't you just keep talking and we'll see if she connects
Sure.
again here too.
Sure. Okay, so in my experience, it's not just the hair loss. It's kind of it's three phases, right? Hi, Cheryl, can you hear us? Okay. So in my experience, the hair journey is in three phases. So it's all about before, during, and after treatment. And thinking of it this way is really important because it helps you understand that it's so much more than your hair falling out and for there to be this waiting period for it to grow back. Each phase kind of has its own set of things that you can do in order to really sort of cultivate your scalp health and to sort of make your scalp a canvas for healthy hair growth. So that's what I think, at least for me, was a great way of thinking about it. And maybe you can also use that to approach your ongoing sort of relationship with your hair throughout treatment. And then not just the three phases, but beyond that, we also want to think about self-care as being two different things, which is the care that you give to your hair and scalp, and then also how you connect with your physical beauty during your changing hair. So these two things I think are great sort of mental mental categories or buckets to put our approach into. So there's certain things that it's important to remember, that when your hair starts to grow back, you can still go through a lot of temperature fluctuations. So it's really important to always be aware of those fluctuations and be prepared for them, just so you can stay comfortable. So for example, if you're traveling in the summer when it's really hot out, you still want to be prepared with a cardigan or a scarf or a turban, just in case you go indoors where it's cold and all of a sudden, you feel really chilly, because your hair is that barrier to the elements. And so if, your hair is still growing back, it can definitely be still a factor in your comfort level. So please be aware of that. Then you also, may still have some side effects with the hair coming in if you're experiencing migraines, and this also works great for hair loss. Think about maybe having a migraine cap at home. So those migraine caps are, they fit around the head, and you can tighten them with Velcro, and you can actually place ice packs inside of them. So they're great for relieving, hair loss induced migraines, as well as just to sort of, tighten the pores on your scalp, because hair really loves that. That's why they always say to end your shower with a little splash of cold water, or to splash cold water on your face. It's something that keeps our skin looking young. So that can also be healthy for you there. During this time, you might also be experiencing something that no one talks about, which is hair loss in the nose. And so when that happens, my experience at least was that you can feel this extreme drying and cracking in your nose, in the skin. And so a great thing to do is just to have some clean balm form of like a Vaseline. I use this balm from Earth Mama, and I just put it on a Q-tip and like circle it inside my nostrils, because that really helps sort of keep my nose comfortable and also hydrated. And I still do it now. It's a habit that I started during chemo, and it's still something that I continue to do. So during this time, you also want to think about how can you best support, keeping your hair strong and healthy as it grows back. And so you want to think about, like, for example, with shampooing, a question that so many people ask is, do I need to shampoo when my hair is really short or when I have no hair? The answer is that you should shampoo once or twice a week, but keep the hot water usage to a minimum, because it does weaken the hair. Try using baby products if that's something that you can find, and find a product that you like. If you're using shampoo or other sort of products on your head, imagine just how these products are designed for newborns and their hair. And so you're in a similar situation with new hair coming back. You want to be as thoughtful and as gentle to it as you can be. And so, during that time also, you want to remember that there's there's chemo induced photosensitivity that you'll be experiencing if you're in treatment or if you're just coming out of treatment. And this is when chemotherapy makes our skin more sensitive to the UV rays. And so your scalp is definitely in that category as well. And when your hair is short or gone, you want to kind of give it some extra attention, that you're protecting your skin in that area. So I'd recommend using an SPF 30 on not just your face, of course, but putting it back onto your head. And if you have some spots where your hair is sparse, maybe you want to apply it there as well. If you cannot apply it throughout, if your hair is already starting to grow back, but you want to think about this. And then another great sort of tool, and maybe Nanetta, this is of use to you, is our UV turbans. We have a turban line that has fabric that has UV 50 protection, and which has aloe vera microcapsules in the fabric. So not only does it protect your scalp, but it also hydrates your scalp. And this is something that I created from my own experience of having to start chemo in May of 2018, and not being like getting really sad because I couldn't go outside the entire summer because of the sun. And so this is something that I think can be useful throughout your hair journey. Of course, it's really good to protect your hair even after it's grown back into its hopefully full health. But it's something that I think can help you feel dressed up while also getting you outside and getting you feeling like, you can sort of wear summer colors and outfits and things like that. And you can also protect, your scalp at the same time. So that's something to consider. And, in the same way, I kind of want to lean towards some spring and summer focus tips, because I think, there's certain things like the showering and whatnot, which is throughout the year, something you can practice. But I think certain things like the SPF, it becomes even more important when we spend more time outside. And then also thinking about, if you are wearing caps, making sure that they are breathable fabrics that are, soothing and comforting to your scalp. And then remembering that when you are, when you're coming in from the outside, that you want to make sure that you're being hygienic and keeping your scalp clean. And that's something that really is important to help your hair grow back healthy. You want to make sure that you're using, a gentle, like a gentle shampoo, or if you cannot do that, then at least just a towel bath on your head with maybe a warm soaked towel where you just kind of, rub all around. And then perhaps you can even put some coconut oil to moisturize your hair and scalp afterwards, because coconut oil is really moisturizing, it's anti-inflammatory, and it's antimicrobial. So it's really a very helpful thing that if you just want to put a few drops of it in, it's super helpful, and it soaks right into your skin. So your skin will love that. And then, making sure, I think I mentioned the microfiber towel, making sure that you're using only microfiber towels on your hair. You can get these towels that just kind of are easy to wrap around your head and, have that be its own thing, like a dedicated towel for your hair, because microfiber is really gentle on the hair. It doesn't suck all the moisture out of your strands. It's really something that you should keep as a basic item in your washroom. And I think that beyond that, as you're moving forward into your hair growing back, you want to remember that there's certain things, like certain rituals that you can do that can keep your hair and scalp and your roots feeling alive. Hi, Susie. Can you hear us? Okay. I hope you can hear us. So one thing is that doing regular scalp massages is really something that I want you to maybe schedule into your day. And you can do this, on yourself. You don't need to go out to a salon to get this done. Basically doing like 5 minutes, at least once a day, of massaging your scalp, just using your fingers, or you can use a massage brush, like a silicone massage brush, and just going all around and just doing gentle circular motions, because what this does is this brings the oxygen up to your roots, and it keeps your follicles sort of alive and healthy and kind of percolating. And so this is something that is like a really proven thing to help hair grow back healthy and to keep hair strong as well. So maybe do that, do it with like a little bit of oil to make it, easier to massage around. You can also add a couple of drops of essential oil if that helps, and if that's something that you like. You can also mix in certain things like grapeseed oil or jojoba oil, just to kind of give it that extra, nutrition for your scalp. And so I want to know from you guys before I continue, is what would be more useful to hear about? Is it maybe hair growth after treatment, and how to maybe handle the styling, or do you care more about nutrition, or a little bit of both? Can you let me know?
When I signed up for the class, I was hoping to hear about products that your company provides for women.
Okay, sure. Anyone else?
And I'd be interested in hair growth and the nutrition side. I'm not sure my hair is going to grow anymore. It's been 4 years since I've been off of chemo, and it just really hasn't grown. So like I said, I'm comfortable wearing wigs and things like that now. And I haven't dyed my hair, so now you can see more obviously gray and everything. But yeah, I would be interested in the hair growth. But probably more so the nutrition because I'm not sure I'm gonna get any more growth.
Sure. Okay. Carol?
I'm the same with for growing your hair back. Mine's been pretty good, but I want to hear what you say about nutrition and possibly using that.
Okay.
But
You're breaking up a little, but what I heard is nutrition is something you want to hear about during regrowth. I think that's what you said.
yes.
Okay. If there's anything else, I'm having a little trouble hearing you. If there's anything else and you want to drop it in the chat, feel free. And okay, Susie, any special requests?
Yes, sorry to join you late. I my hair seems to grow pretty well. I'm always interested in nutrition. I'm a nutritionist, and I would love to hear about styling. I've never had short hair, and I just don't know exactly how to style it and what to do for it to look cute, because my hair tends to just like want to just draw down, and I want it to have a younger, like just a funky kind of style, not just like
Oh,
draw
okay.
down.
I see.
But I know that's kind of individualized. So I'm interested in all of it. Thank you.
Sure. I can definitely share something that maybe everyone would find useful. So let's start with nutrition. For nutrition, the way I like to think of it is there's certain things that are, there's the main foods that you eat, there's the bonuses that you can add in, and then there's also the supplements that you can take. So of course, before you take any decisions regarding supplements, you should talk to your doctor about this because each person is different. And for me, it was that towards the end of chemo, I was able to start up supplements again. But again, it depends on your treatment protocol. And so for me, I think preparing for regrowth, the nutrition is such a big part of that. And there's certain things that I have a short list here, and I think I can just maybe share that with you guys. So it's a quick little bullet point cheat sheet that I've created. And I'm sorry the bullet points are looking weird because I've copied this from Microsoft Word, but basically these are all sort of the key vitamins that I like to make sure are in my meals on most days. And so, whether I'm snacking on nuts or I'm just throwing in some flax seeds on top of, my omelet or pumpkin seeds, something like that, adding, leafy vegetables wherever I can. These are some of the key things that I like to keep in my mind as I'm shopping for food and maybe eating out and cooking at home. So I like to think of it as, I'm going to take some supplements. I'm going to take the supplements that are known to help with hair regrowth. But I know that also, my diet needs to support that. My diet needs to be sort of complementary to my supplements. And so I like to think of my food as also supplements. And so when I'm shopping for food, just see in the chat the list that I've placed. This is how I like to break down my grocery shopping. And so I can point to different things on my plate and say, well, this is going to help me in this area, and this is going to help me in the other area. Whether it's, strength or preventing thinning, or anything like that. And then these are the different supplements that, depending on what you need, this is kind of like the basic list of sort of the vitamins that are really strongly associated with hair growth. And so, combining these two lists, I think, is like a really good cheat sheet to manage this, to manage mentally when grocery shopping. Because the other thing is, like, when you are going through treatment, you go through so much with trying to clean out your diet and like turn your world upside down, trying to make everything support your health and you know, hopefully help you recover. It can sometimes become overwhelming. So I like to just have little cheat sheets, something like this, where you can just easily see, okay, well, I could use more of this vitamin or that vitamin. And so these are the foods that I like, which can support that. And so maybe you can take this list and fill in your own favorite foods that have these vitamins, and then you can just regularly include these in your diet. And
Sonia,
just
if you'll
sort
send
of-
that, if you'll send that to me, I'll send it out to everybody. I'll send this
Oh,
list
great.
out to everybody.
Oh.
Yeah.
Great. That sounds good. Happy to do that. So that's kind of my approach to nutrition when it comes to hair. And it's something that I'm very thoughtful about. It's, you know, I'm now 5 years out from treatment and from diagnosis. And it's something that is very much an active part of my day-to-day life. So I think it's in a way like it can help you sort of feel like you're doing something for yourself too. Whether or not your hair is cooperating with you, I think committing to yourself and to your hair through nutrition is a really good approach. And so we had some questions about styling your post chemo hair. So we have a couple of really good blog posts actually from experts that we've brought in to talk about this issue, whether it's like styling your hair post chemo or dressing for short hair, which is also you know, a really tough thing to process. I think a lot of us never expected to have super short hair, and so now that it's here, it's like how do you make the most of it? And so generally the recommendation from us is, and from our resident hairstyling expert, is that from 0 to 3 months, you want to think about, well, actually, let me back up. So one thing to remember is even during hair loss, from the start of hair loss to the regrowth and beyond, you want to sort of work with a hairstylist, and it doesn't have to be like a super, you know, fancy salon or anything like that. It can just be someone that you feel really comfortable with, someone who cuts your hair, someone that you feel okay going to and talking to about, you know, your sort of plan for your hair. And you want to maybe enlist your hairstylist as like a confidant in this journey, because they can really take like a mullet and turn it into something beautiful, right? Like they're the expert in that. So, you know, don't suffer through like a bad looking haircut just because that's how your hair is growing back, because you know, different areas of our head, the hair grows back at a different pace. So while the hair back here may be growing faster and this might be growing slower, it doesn't mean that you need to have a mullet. Maybe you can, you know, trim everything down and keep it in a length where it is a little bit more uniform. And when you do that, you also come up with the styles that are known to be a little bit more bold, a little bit more modern, like, you know, the pixie or the bangs that come across in the front with like the short hair. So that's something that I think when you have a stylist that you're willing to sort of, you know, go to for something like this, even in those moments where you're not necessarily willing to, or not necessarily feeling proud of how you look, like you have to understand your hair at the end of the day is something that is to be molded. It's not just, you know, what it is sort of as it's sitting on your head. It's something that can be cut and shaped and styled. And so I think that's a great place to start, is to reach out to a stylist and to have them, you know, work with you at every single length, so that it's complementary to your face. And at that point, they can also recommend good products based on your hairstyle and your texture. We have a blog post about this, and we can certainly send that around, right, Nancy? And you can see that we have some, you know, basically really staple products that you could try that would help with styling different lengths of hair. And so when your hair starts to grow out after the 3-month mark, when it's getting a little bit longer, you need to maybe consider changing, a little bit of the dimensions. You can have a short hair, but also, you can make it a little longer at the top. You can give it a little bit more height and a little bit of length. You can create a shag. You can do so many different things with just a little bit of like guidance from a professional, because now your hair is at a point where it can just kind of take on new life and new shape. And then as you sort of go on, you'll find that as it grows out, maybe you're coming up with some more exciting styles. You may consider coloring your hair, which I recommend that you wait at least 6 months before doing that, just to give your hair some room to grow, because it's not just your hair, it's also your scalp, which is sensitive. Your skin is sensitive at that time. And remember, like we said, it's like having baby hair, right? So you want to be gentle to that hair. But throughout all this, when you're going through these different hair lengths, and even when you're going through the earlier part of that journey where your hair is gradually leaving you, and then your skin is changing, and your face looks different, and you're going through these stages where you're maybe not recognizing yourself in the mirror. That can also happen once your hair starts to grow back. I mean, people think that when your hair is growing back, everything is fine and dandy, and oh, that must be great and congratulations. But it's not easy every day. I mean, it's certainly a happy thing to have your hair come back, but some days it's still hard to deal with. And something that I'd recommend, again, with like the mental health piece of the hair journey, is that I would recommend that you treat each version of yourself like it's a new friend that's come into your life. And when you see her, just understand that like the person looking back at you in the mirror is your friend. It's a new version of you. And it's something that you should, welcome the same way you'd welcome a friend into your home. Just welcome her in, get to know her, understand that, different things may make you feel beautiful and fashionable at different stages in your hair journey. It might change from day to day. It might change from length to length. But I think giving yourself that little bit of grace to change is important, because it's going to happen. It's better for you to expect it to happen and to sort of find the new things that excite you and make you feel good about yourself. And I think that in that way, you also end up celebrating those new versions of you too, because she deserves all the same things that first original version of you did, right? So all the same, like dressing up, the makeup, the jewelry, whatever it is that helps you feel more like yourself. So that's kind of my my approach to the hairstyling. And again, we can send out some blogs about that. What I would say is, like, if your hair is growing back and you're you want to wear your hair out, but you're not super comfortable with the length, or maybe you're having like slow growth in certain areas, and that's making you like not want to wear it out completely. Something that I did a lot when my hair was growing back is I would have these, like, the turbans, right, with with different sort of looks and accents for each outfit. But what I would do is it would be something like this, where I would have little ringlets coming out the front. So, the hair is completely inside and completely covered, but you can see that there's some hair, like almost as like an elegant little accent in the front, whether it's like side swept bangs that would come out, like I call them bangs, but they were baby hairs at that point, combing it out and like styling it in the front, or even doing a little ponytail and letting it pop out of the back, or putting ringlets down on the side. I think that's something that, helps you show off that you have hair, helps you show off that you have beautiful hair, and that it's kind of coming in, and it's being styled a certain way, but also it gives you the ability to maintain a little bit of modesty and privacy, as you kind of get back into that place where you do feel more comfortable. So that's what I would say. I really made use of that a lot. And it was actually a fun way to sort of almost pretend like I had more hair than I did, honestly, at that time. So that's how I think turbans can kind of be your secret weapon as even as your hair is coming back. So, and on that note, I would say that, like, as far as our company, the main thing that we have is the turban. That is like our mission, is to create beautiful turbans for women of all hair journeys, whether you're a new patient, whether you're, having a bad hair day, whether you just are trying to dress up for like some, amazing party. We have turbans for every season and occasion. So if you are needing a head covering, and that's something that you want to shop for, right? Like, you could come to us any season of the year and find something for day wear, evening wear, knitwear, lounge wear, couture, designer, and I don't know if I said activewear, but I'll say it, activewear. There's so many, the collection has really grown, so it's like hard for me to keep track of sometimes on the fly, but that's kind of our mission, is to give you options no matter where your hair journey is taking you. So, based on that, like, we could certainly talk about, styling you for something that's happening in your life, whether it's an everyday need that you have, or if it's something where there's a particular event that you really want to dress appropriately for and feel your best and match it with your outfit and all of those things. So that's from sort of the turban side what we have, and it's really the variety and the designs. It's something that I really thought about what we can do to appeal to women who have very varied style tastes. And so for that reason also, there's a lot of variety, and there's always more coming. So for example, this season, we are having new activewear styles, as well as we're adding some organic cotton styles that are perfect for being out and about on a day-to-day basis, and different things like that, which make the everyday moments a little bit more comfortable and easier, especially in the summertime when we all want to be relaxing and enjoying our time outside. And so I actually do have those pieces. I can bring them out. If you give me just 1 second, I have to just go to the other side of the room and grab them. Okay.
How are you, Cheryl? It's good to see you.
It's I hate my connection as well.
That's okay. It's good to see you. And it's good to see you too,
You
Susie.
too.
How are you doing, Susie?
Oh, hi. Me? I'm doing good, thank you.
Good.
It's good to see you too, and thank you for sending out that list, because I couldn't find it in the chat. I have it on my
well,
phone.
I'll send all of that stuff out to you.
Thank you. It's great to connect again.
Yeah,
been
it is.
It's been a little,
It has. It's been a minute, huh?
yeah.
All right, Sonia's back.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm back. So I have a preview of our upcoming collection, which I'd love to show you guys. No one has seen these yet, other than my husband, I think, because he sees me toiling away, coming up with new designs and experimenting. But so this summer collection is really inspired by my experiences in the new town that I live in, which is Greenwich, Connecticut. And we live in downtown Greenwich, but we do sail now. So we started sailing last summer, and it's something that has been really a different experience for me, because it's not something that I ever did growing up in New York City, but everyone in Greenwich sails. So we decided, let's learn how to sail. And it's something that has been a lot of fun, but also, being a person who is really tiny, who by no means was like a bodybuilder before cancer, and someone who has gone through like major surgery, double mastectomies and chemo and all that, which everyone here is familiar with, getting on a sailboat and hoisting the sails and taking the boat out and like doing all of those things is something that has been a really fulfilling and empowering experience for me. And so the new collection is something that celebrates that little bit of a nautical style or water inspired style. And so that's what this is. So we have first we have a nice neutral colored organic cotton turban like this. And this is not a stretch material. It's 100% organic cotton. So we have an elastic in the back for comfortable fit. And then in the front, we have a frayed seersucker, just to give it a little bit of that sort of classic nautical look, summery look. And we have a matching design here with a blue pinstripe seersucker ribbon, as well as the same organic cotton with a stretch component in the back for comfy wearing. So these are two that are just like, you can just put this on and go out and do absolutely anything and enjoy your time in the summer. Then we have our activewear collection, which, as I mentioned, has UV protection and aloe vera microcapsules in the fabric. This is a collection that came out last year, and we're adding to it this year. So far, these are the new pieces that will be available. One is this rope and chain inspired pattern that you see here. I can try it on and show you. I've already been wearing this one. So this is how it looks. And again, it's such a nice pattern. It's not too flashy, and it's really easy to wear with anything. Like if you think about the amount of things that you could just easily match this with, because it's what I like to call like a dressy casual look. And so there's this one, and then we have also this UV turban, which is really, really pretty in person. It's like a marbled sand and water look. And I really love this one. So this one is
Very cute.
This one is like, it's just so pretty in person.
Oh, it is so cute.
Yeah, I'm glad you like it. Thank you.
Yeah. Yes.
So going back to kind of our you know, the non-active wear side, we have two other pieces which are great for like a very dressy day wear look. So the first one is it's like a pistachio green, sort of a rippled fabric. There's a little bit of a sheen to it when when the light catches it. And then we have in the front, we have a pearl and gold hardware detailing. And so this is like a really classy look, which adds a bit of, I think that hardware and the pearl really dresses up any outfit that you wear this with, which is great, especially if you're like me, sometimes you just have to get going and you can't spend forever picking out your outfit and getting ready and doing all this. But as soon as you put on something that is like a little bit of like a elevated headwear, it changes your entire look without you having to try too hard. So there's this, and then the matching component with it is this one, which is like a white version of that same look. Lastly, we have this super soft and stretchy fabric with like a marble, I would say it's like almost like a water detail. It's like this sort of a pattern on the fabric. And so it's like, a similar loop turban. And we have here also, I'm not sure if you can really see this, but we have hand set crystals in varying shades and sizes, but they're blue and clear. So it gives your turban a little bit of that extra sparkle, which again, it's like inspired by water, right? So it's the reflections that you see when you're out on the water and sort of that beauty and that peace inspired this particular design. So those are our new pieces, and they'll probably be available in the coming few weeks. And so I will definitely let you guys know when those are available. And as attendees of this event, like, of course, we'll add you to the VIP list so you can get a first look, because anyone on our list gets like that first look before people on social media hear about it and beyond that. So that's very exciting. But we covered nutrition, we covered styling your hair, and we covered new styles. Is there anything else?
Sonia,
I
what is
just-
your website so they can go and check out your whole collection?
Sure, can drop it right here. And then we'll send like a recap email as well, because of all the blog posts that I wanted to share. It's just so people have it handy and available to them. So we can perhaps include all of that.
Mhm.
Thank you. That would be so helpful. And I just want to say that they are beautiful, and it makes such a difference having you try them on. So thank you for trying them.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I love trying things on. I just love clothes and shopping and all that. So as soon as I thought of it, I was happy to do it. So I'm happy to show these pieces to you. I hope you love them. I hope you see yourself in them. And we'll share a special promotion, Nancy, with you, so you can send it out to the attendees in case they find something they like and they want to have a bit of a perk there for their
Wonderful.
first order.
Thank you, Sonia.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me. This was I debated if I should show up in like my comfy loungewear with like a lounge turban, because it's like 11 o'clock at night here. But yeah, I feel like we covered a lot, and if there's anything that you think of think of after this event and you want to reach out, please don't hesitate. Along with our website, we'll include our email address. You can directly reach out to me and ask me any sort of hair questions or style questions that you have. And yeah, if you also think of something that you'd like to see from us, I'm also really open to hearing from you guys about that too.
And if you decide to be a model in our Beauty of Change fashion show in October, you might get to model one of Sonia's turbans.
Yes. Absolutely. I'd love to style you and to have you wear one of our pieces. That would be a really proud moment. So please come apply to model, or at least come to the event and come celebrate with us. And it should be a really nice time.